Hey guys, so we're going to do another reading. I'm going to go ahead and do another look at the Kiely Rodni case. I'm going to kind of sit with it for about an hour, just kind of by myself, kind of sorting through some things. I'm really trying to get to a little bit of stuff here. But let's kind of talk about where I'm at. And you guys, for those follow me, if you watch a couple of my reads, I did initially August 11th was the first read, so it was fairly early in the case. I pretty much went by one article. I hadn't watched any YouTubes or anything. Obviously, I was aware things kind of maybe popping up in the feed on Facebook and things, but I hadn't. There was a whole lot going on. Obviously, I've had some health issues and various things. Which for those who follow, I am going to have a minor surgery tomorrow. They're going to get all this out of my neck, so you might see me with bandages later. Okay, but they said the thyroid looks good. This that I should be okay. But just kind of catch up there. But this is kind of where I'm at though. Something that kind of dawned on me today, and this is what kind of motivated me that I need to sit down and take a look here because there may be something going on that we're not aware of. But to humor myself, I did look a little bit on Google. Is there any recent news articles? Not much. Not much. It's been very quiet, but I that makes me feel sometimes when things are real quiet, there's something going on that police are doing something. Okay, and they're being real quiet about something going on. Okay, just my feels. Okay, but Adventures with Purpose. Now I want to go ahead and these guys. I know everybody knows who they are now, right? On their website, they do have a members only thing. I think it's a new thing they're doing, and for like it's like $3.99 the first month, $4.99 after that. If you go ahead and join that members only, which really you guys, that donation that goes to them helps them with the cause. They do everything based on donations. Okay, so if you can kind of help them out and everything and go ahead and join, I really encourage you, especially if you're passionate like me about missing persons and finding people. These guys are phenomenal. They're amazing people. But this is the thing that hit me. I was looking at it. I was like, man, I want to see that video. Something tells me I need to see it. I really need to take a look, right? But one thing that hit me, okay, let me go back to read one. Okay, when I was doing my keywords, so I had my notebook, right? And matter of fact, let me go ahead and find it because I usually save everything. Let's go back to the original keywords that I wrote stuff down. Okay, so hold on. Let me find the original. Just going, yeah, I've done a few. Okay. And sings, give me a moment. I'll find it. Hold on. There it is. This is my original. Scribbles. Okay. So, several things I kind of wrote on here. Of course, Kiely Rodni, it looked like about 12:30 Saturday. Everything kind of stops, right? And Prosser Valley Camp, Truckee. And if you watch video one, yes, I was confused because I only had one article. Was this Nevada? And then it's like, no, it's Arizona, right? California, excuse me. And stuff. Late night. So it's it was in California. So I sorted that out. We figured that out. We knew there was surveillance at about 6:30, right? So anyway, I did write down number 17, which we got here, which see you guys commented, and then later I saw in articles she has a tattoo of number 17. I did also write 16 down too. Just to indicate her age. It wasn't a thing. It was just to write her age down to get the energy. But 17 did come to me. Okay, but I also felt maybe lured, like maybe we're kind of lured into something there. I did say something about check that debit card. There might be some things on there. There was some things, and but I did. This is what got me here, Nick. And when I wrote that down, okay, I wrote that down and I said it could be a name or maybe somebody nicked themselves. I'm not sure, but I'm getting Nick. Nick, I believe it Nick Rin is his name, is the one who found her. He is somebody that they are training with Adventures with Purpose. He's the diver that found her. But it doesn't stop there, okay? That's not the only significance with that name. So when I saw that, I got in, I get the video, and I'm like, one, oh my God, the guy who found her, his name is Nick. Okay, and this is before Adventures with Purpose was announced to go look for her. I did that read on August 11th, which, just as a serendipity, is a date that I started my channel many years ago on 2008. I've had the channel for a while, but I just started doing stuff with it a couple years ago, where I started getting really, more serious about it. But it was just kind of a weird thing. But I did write, it's right there, and I did mention it in the vid. I wrote down Nick. That's not the only Nick in the story. Now, if you go to Adventures with Purpose, like I said, guys, you could subscribe, and if you just can't afford the $5 a month, the $4.99, keep it for a few months, give them some donations. You could cancel anytime. Okay, it's real easy. Go into your YouTube stuff, like your subscriptions, whatever, memberships. You do it right there. Okay, you got to see the video. In the beginning of the video, they interview with a guy named Nick. I just, I'm blown away. Okay, sometimes spirit is, and like I said, I was on one news article when I'm trying to read for you guys this situation. They interviewed with a guy named Nick, who is like one of those, auto service people. I forgot what they call them. They dispatch them to help people with their vehicles, basically. Now, he's not sure exactly the day, he was like, he usually works weekends. So I'm sure he was just not, he's just a little confused. He tried to GPS. I would think whoever dispatched the call has got to know when. That's probably a cop thing. But he did talk to Adventures with Purpose, and apparently he is a longtime supporter, is what they said. So apparently he's donated to them before, for whatever reason. He said longtime supporter, is what they said. I'll just assume they meant donation. But anyway, so they have a very pretty good conversation with Nick, who went out, and he's pretty sure that he serviced Kiely Rodni. Okay, and he goes out there, and like I said, I could easily pull up the interview, but because it's members only, I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, or I would love to show you guys the interview. Some other people might be snipping it. I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble. And also, I want to respect Adventures with Purpose, that, if I don't show it, maybe you'll go buy it, right? Okay, so I want to be very respectful to their cause, their mission, and for all that they do. And like I said, I don't know if I can show it. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. But I can talk about, obviously, verbally, some of the interview, some points he made. He basically goes out, he kind of goes to surfaces, or to service a car, be called maybe a battery isn't working. Now, he checked everything is fine on the battery. He did say the young girl seemed kind of confused. He did say maybe seemed a little hungover, but she's still with us. This is he said about 11 to 12 in the afternoon. He's not sure Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But we could probably, but he did say, like when they kind of probe him, if you had to bet which day, what do you think? And he kind of went, maybe, since I work weekends, Saturday, Sunday. Now, this he said was in the Boca area. There's kind of a Boca. Now, let me just stop myself for a minute. I'm not familiar with all this, but it looks like the little Jagger guy is in Reno. Is that correct? Reno, Nevada. So let me just see. Boca, California, and Reno, Nevada. How far apart? Yeah, there's a Boca. See, he said this happened in the Boca area. There's a Boca reservoir. And then there's Truckee. And Reno is only about 27 miles away. So this is Reno, Nevada is not far, and this is where Jagger is, right? Okay. Now, I know I felt like Jagger, I didn't really feel could be involved. And maybe he's not still. I don't know. Okay, but this is what this guy says. Nick, which I wrote down. Okay, Nick is the one who dove in and found the vehicle, is the first one to spot it and see her in the car. Okay, very significant. But then there is a Nick who services this vehicle. This is, And I did write red shirt. Now, I don't know if the Nick had a red shirt, either one, I'm not sure. Just something, maybe write red shirt, or if maybe somebody in the car did. I don't know. But this, okay, let me go ahead. For those who don't know, I know you want me to shut up and tell you. Okay, so, but he says he goes to service the car. He says the battery's fine, everything is good. She couldn't figure out, like she was stuck, couldn't figure out how to drive, something going on. She apparently has some kind of issue with the seatbelt. And she asked him, can you show me how to do the seatbelt? How do I do a seatbelt properly? She was very confused about how to put on a seatbelt. This would be kind of unusual behavior. So he did find some of the behavior unusual. Okay, that she was kind of just demonstrating. He did say she seemed a little like maybe had a hard night, maybe a little hungover. Okay, so we've got that. Having trouble with a seatbelt, whatever. So he's trying to help her with that. He said, you know, the reason why the car wouldn't go, the car was in neutral. And he's like, well, the car's in neutral. That's why. So now I thought about this. I thought, okay, she's young. I believe she had just got this car. This was it looks like maybe a graduation gift or something. Maybe had it a couple months, maybe, or less than that for all I know. She did not have the car long. And I think about that. A 16-year-old could be confused about some things if they don't know how to drive very well. But he described a guy with her, and he said he had a San Francisco hat, black, which Jagger is shown in many images to have. Short, you know, a little bit of brown hair, kind of sticking out the sides, and freckles or acne on the side of the face. And he does have freckles, and he does have short brown hair that sticks out of the sides when he wears that cap. So when he goes there, she's with him. Okay, and they're kind of, and he did make mention there was some weird things, like maybe he'd be talking at one side of the vehicle with her, he's off to the side versus really interacting, you know, and stuff. Now, he didn't say anything about, oh, it looked like they've been fighting or anything, but he did just say her behavior seemed kind of odd, like kind of confused. Could she have been a little high? Could there have been a little something going on? Okay, could there have been a little something going on? So I know before I was like, you know, kind of feeling here, maybe this guy's not involved. I could have jumped the gun, but the Knight of Cups popped up in my read, and the Ace of Cups popped up in there, but I could not get the word boyfriend out of my mouth if you guys watched my read. But there was something popping up there with a guy that I felt some feelings for, something. Okay, it did pop up in read 1, and there were some things in read 2. But I was like, but he was in Reno, right? How could he? But then I'm looking at, like, here right now, this is not that far away from this area. But also, the Nick guy, Nick is right there. I wrote it. Okay, this is, like I said, before Adventures with Purpose, before any of this. Okay, the Nick guy did say that she did indicate her phone was dead. Okay, so she couldn't have made the call. So they would definitely want to, could the Jagger guy have a phone and he made the call? Well, she did indicate her phone was dead. Now, this would fit with the story that her phone pinged and stopped at 12:33. So this opens a whole can of worms here, what this guy has to say, and he really has no reason to make this up, right? We can kind of assume that the Nick guy is probably telling the truth, you know, with the story, but it's a very interesting what is happening here. And then I kind of thought about it. I was like, I know you were kind of writing him off because you're like, this guy wasn't even here. But now I, you know, just like I'm looking at it there, and that's why I was like, Reno's a little closer than I thought, though. Okay, Reno was closer than I thought. But I was able to, you know, the Prosser Reservoir nailed down. Now, I know somebody made a comment on one of the videos. It might have been maybe the third when I just kind of announced that she had been found. Somebody said that I was, well, they said the only, I don't know if I'm the only one who stuck to her being there. Even when people said that it had been searched, cops said it had been searched, and even apparently the officers, the people who had done the searching and FBI and all that had told Adventures of Purpose, oh, we already searched this. And one of the things they do say in the video is, you know, no matter what happens, we, you know, they were like, you know, he's like, you know, the Doug guy, I'm not trying to be cocky, But if we haven't searched it, we do not consider it search. So they searched it and they found her. Nick found her. There's that Nick. Okay, so that, like I said, the Nick could very well have a twofold meaning here, as far as not only a Nick who found her, but a Nick who services the vehicle. So good job, Spirit, giving me that word, right? That's incredibly significant. And so there's some kind of weird things. I definitely feel though, intoxicant things. Could she have crashed? But also I think about that, like if her phone is dead, how does he find her? But I guess, if he knows where she is and located party, and maybe, I'm concerned, and maybe he drove up to kind of find her. Or maybe somebody else calls. Maybe Sammy says, hey, by the way, or something. Because apparently, Jagger and Sammy, I believe they follow each other. Could there have been hey, by the way, she was pretty intoxicated. Could somebody made a phone call to him to go out in the area? It's kind of an interesting. But this guy, he's pretty specific on some things here. And then, of course, he saw the flyers and what was going on in the news, and he reached out to cops right away. The Nick guy, the service guy. Okay, so like I said, get a membership and go watch a video, guys. You'll be very surprised. So that's some pretty significant stuff and everything. So one of the things I do want to kind of look at, I've been sitting with it for about an hour, just kind of by myself, doing a few little things, but I'm going to kind of official look at it and everything. I did kind of, I'm feeling probably Saturday, because certain things are making me feel Saturday. Because this is why, and I'm going to show you, I'll demonstrate it. It'll probably do it again. Now, this is something I kind of did off in my own time. And like I said, the pendulum is probably going to do it. Hold on. And I'll show you guys. Okay, so let's kind of lower it. Okay, I know it's kind of hard for you to see. I know I do have a thing that can shine on stuff like that, but I like to go up, down when I talk to you guys. So let me kind of show you what I've got here. This is Friday, this is Saturday, and this is Sunday. And so anyway, and then I did write 11 a.m. 12. This is where it pointed was Saturday. Now I'm going to demonstrate again. So I was focusing on, and let's write it down for Nick, okay? Because this nickname is a little more significant than I thought it could be. I want to connect to the higher self, which is connected to the source. Am I connected? Show me yes. Show me no. Okay, when it goes counterclockwise, that means no. Show me maybe. Up and down is maybe, so you guys know. Let's see, did the Nick guy actually meet up with Kiely Rodni? I've got yes. Okay. All right, perfect. Was Jagger in the car? Yes, so it's looking like it's him. I mean, he described me the San Francisco black hat. We've seen it. He described it. Point me to the day that he serviced this vehicle. And that's what it did last time. It pointed to Saturday. Now, I suppose, I know I'm writing 11 a.m. to 12, which is what he said. Let's see how accurate this is. Now, I'm going to turn a page here. But it pointed to Saturday, and it's doing it again. Okay, interesting stuff. Let's just kind of... We know pretty much the phone dies at about, on Saturday, August 6th, at about 12:30, I think 12:33 a.m., right? Okay, so let's just kind of focus on, let's just leave that up there, okay? Now we've got Nick, so I'm just going to write a few numbers. Let's just write Saturday because it does seem to be pointing. So let me just humor myself. I'm just going to write 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, just to humor myself. And let's, and we're going to say, and obviously this is AM and this is PM, right? Okay, on Saturday, right? Okay, so we're going to, let's see, so, okay, so you're saying Saturday, which would be August 6th, correct? Yes, that Nick services the vehicle. Can you point to me the time, closest to the time when he does? Okay, so it's probably going to take a minute because it's got to aim. Just give it a moment. Okay, it's slowing down so we can point. Unless none of those times work, we'll see. Okay, hold on, it's getting going. It's not done. Try to close my eyes for a minute so it doesn't. Okay, so it is pointing to the number 11. Okay, so it's pointing to the number 11. So it's looking like, if the pendulum is correct. Now, I just tell you though, my pendulums, I'm not always a fan. I'm not always a fan. Okay, stuff, but they can do well. It just kind of depends. So far, pendulum is pointing to Saturday, and it's pointing to about 11. So he's and I can understand, maybe you work weekends and there's a lot going on. Who knows what's going on? And he's talking about the Boca area, and so it's pointing to about Saturday 11. So far seems to be supporting Nick is telling the truth. I don't think this guy has any reason to lie. If he had anything to hide, he's not going to go to the authorities. And it's not like he's been all over the place trying to get attention. This is the first interview I've seen of this guy. Okay, so far, at least, on YouTube, anywhere. And I do want to see what other, reactors have got to say. But so far, if all is correct, and the pendulum is narrowing it down, Saturday around 11 is when he meets up with this vehicle. And it's pretty much looking like it's Kiely. It pretty much sounds like it, okay? So that's some kind of interesting tidbits here. Now, where do we go from here? How in the hell do we get into the water in Prosser? Now, if this is in the Boca area, like, he said he's pretty sure he knows the area, right? How does she get there? What's going on? Now, obviously, if somebody wanted to make it look like she, left the party and just drove into water, okay, taking her back to the area would make sense, of course. But let's humor me here for a minute as I kind of sit here with some of this. Like I said, I do a little right brain, left brain after my initial reads. When I look at the area, and many of you, if you are following me, this case, have seen where the vehicle was found. It's almost like a beach, the way it is. I know it's not a beach, but it almost looks, the way it, the shore and all that. And it's very shallow. And then it's flipped over, and we know she's found in the back seat. We pretty much know that is going on. So she could have been seat belted, and we know she wrestled, at least according to Nick, seat belt issue. Okay, so but a few things here. Okay, when I look at the area, the road in comparison to the water, it's a pretty good stretch, right? It's a pretty good stretch of land. So like, just say, let's just set Nick's story aside. Say she was driving home at night and pretty intoxicated and stuff like that. Let's just go ahead and humor ourselves to say that, right? Still, you would have to be real confused, because this is not a whoops, I'm in there. It's real close to the road. This is a good distance to land in that water. Okay, just a little bit there. Okay, so there's a few things there with that. That would be kind of weird. Now that we've got Nick's story, and he says this was in the daytime, she seems hungover, like she had a hard night. And like I said, this guy has no reason to make this all up. And I feel he seemed pretty genuine, his story. I mean, for him to come out, oh yeah, I did, this would make no sense whatsoever, and stuff, to make all this up. And there's got to be some evidence of the dispatch and everything that he got the call. Okay, so either way, so where we're at here, and then she's in Boca. So one of the things is we would, if all is correct, which it looks like, that would mean that she was alive after the party for a significant amount of time, and one of the things, even maybe 11 hours, and in the daytime. So if she's, kind of hungover versus completely and stuff, it somehow ends up in the water and things like that, then this would be daytime. So driving into the water, would be kind of weird. Okay? And stuff, because you have to be able to see. And stuff. Now, could there have been a little partying afterwards? Could there have been a little something? Okay, I don't know. And stuff. So this is some very, new info. And like I said, you guys got to see that video. Okay, inquiring minds got to know. And I'm gonna check. I haven't checked any reacts to the video yet. But like I said, I would love to show you guys the interview, but out of respect, and also I don't know if I would get in trouble. But out of respect, also for those guys, I don't want to show the vid. But it's okay. I feel talking about we're good. There's so much more info on there. It's done very well, video documentary style, and exactly how they find the car. You see the whole entire process, and it's chilling, and it's you know, and the Nick guy, a lot of people in the comments, you know, were definitely, they could see the emotion and everything. Let's get to it. I know I did a lot of talking, but I wanted to let you guys know and show you that, you know, Nick is pretty significant here. Okay, two Nicks, really, the one who finds her and the one who saw her. It looks like with what looks like Jagger in the car. I mean, unless it's another guy with brown hair and a San Francisco hat that's black. Okay? And a lot of the pictures have that. Now, I want to say, though, it doesn't mean that he did anything at the moment. Okay? It doesn't mean that. But a lot of things did come up, accident and various things. Could there have been a little after party? Could there have been some stuff? Let's check it out. But definitely the phone was dead. And could she have been in some confused, I'm hungover, I'm not doing good state, you know, as far as, you know, how to get home. Maybe he found her, maybe he drove to look for her. What's going on? You know, some kind of things like that. Absolutely. Now, I still feel, just because she's there and something hasn't happened yet, does not mean some kind of overdose thing does not happen. Because I still get this weird feel. Could there have been some overdose kind of situation? Okay, let's go ahead and look at it. Not that this is her thing. Now, the Jagger guy came up as King Cups before. I do want to look at, is he in the car, for one? Which I'm kind of feeling somehow meets up. And yes, let's focus. Was she put in the water, or was this an accident? Could they have both been in there, or somehow she drove in water, he got out, she did not, he freaks and leaves her? I mean, who knows what's going on here? And then, of course, how does he get there? You know, where's his vehicle? What about his car? Why is, you know, they see her car, but there he is. Knight of Cups, and not his. Maybe he parked across her, they took the drive. What are they doing? Let's go and see. There's a huge mystery here that I want to uncover. Yeah, but like I said, just because she's, you know, kind of maybe seems hungover doesn't mean something's not in her system. Okay, that's going on. Yeah, but I was sitting with this for about an hour even before this, just kind of meditating on some things, thinking about what I saw tonight, you know, how things hit me. I'm thankful, God, I'm so thankful she's found. Main thing, right? But is it foul play or just straight up accident? I still have an accidental feel. But still, did somebody cover up, lie? Okay, and could this be why he was saying, you know, because he's trying to cover her, I know she's alive, we'll find her. We're going to look for her in Reno. Okay. You know, maybe, like I said, I didn't feel that he did, you know, I just, you know, I don't see this as the modus type. But, you know, the Knight of Cups was in there. Okay, I got to look at that. Six of Swords can represent a vehicle for me or traveling. So we look at that. You know, moving away from troubled water can be a meaning, but definitely also most depictions of Rider-Waite show a boat on water. We know the vehicle went into the water. So many meanings I could unpack with that. But that's one of the big things. How does she get the vehicle in the water? What happened? That's what I want to know. Okay, now the Queen of Swords, you know, the woman who normally does the speaking for the police officer, she's kind of that representative. That's been her card and things like that. She's been very vocal. She's kind of representing, you know, the law enforcement. I definitely believe that woman has done everything in her power. to get things. Now, I know I get the high priestess. I know a lot of people could say psychics, right? Not necessarily wrong, but the high priestess in a missing person read for me can represent secrets. Okay, because the high priestess is about secrets as well. Certain things, that are kind of covered, concealed and stuff like that can represent that as well. Now remember, this card is also the moon. Okay. But looking at that completion, they'll close the case, they'll solve it. They're working on something. They're being quiet though, guys. And when things are quiet, that's what they're kind of looking on. Okay, so we got the Ten of Wands. That is the oppression card. The carrying the heavy weight is one of the things like that, carrying heavy baggage. Let me just sit with that for a moment, okay? Because I do think of that, the car and the weight, okay, oppression, getting out of it, right? Getting in the car, could she have been alive at the moment? And certain things, and the weight of the car, I can't get out, definitely. That's what things, are we alive or are we past? Okay, there's that tower, it comes up every time and stuff, which it does make me feel some kind of accident. This doesn't, and I've never got necessarily a murder intentional vibe with Kiely. Okay, so like I said, I don't, if the Jagger guy is still with her when something happens, some kind of chaos accident or whatever, and I know sometimes it could be a violent thing. Yes, that is correct. It is a Mars card, but not always. It's very often accident, very abrupt, just like a lightning strikes a tower. Some crazy, act of God, some crazy thing, chaos happens. So we know that happens. This is tragic. Okay, let's kind of go. We're going in the past. Now, we've got that Temperance card. That card is actually about moderation. Strangely enough. Could things have kind of simmered down after a while with whatever we drank or things? Now, one of the things I thought of, this is something I was meditating on for about, an hour when I was sitting with things, is certain things with Kiely, like her mom saying she would never have drove drunk. That this is not her daughter. She would not do that. Now, the mom's card has always shown us the Queen of Wands, and and I know that was the first card overall in read 1, and she's always shown up in my reads. Now, one of the things about that is to really pay attention to what she says. Now, if she had maybe kind of just, I can't drive, or couldn't figure it out, okay, and just kind of crashed, there, slept, couldn't make the drive, passed out in a car or something. That's a possibility. Or maybe she did go in it, maybe she got a little lost, ended up in Boca. We don't know. Okay. But one of the things though, this actually could make sense a lot with what she says. That maybe she did make the phone call to her mom or something, maybe that did happen. I questioned it, I wasn't sure. But let's say she did, and then she's like, what? I can't do this. My phone died. I can't call my mom. I can't do this. And then just kind of parked somewhere and just passed out, possible here. Let me kind of go ahead and look here. Hold on. Now we've got, these have been very connected. It's the Knight of Discs as well as the Queen of Pentacles. And this is something I meditated on tonight. Queen of Pentacles has been the card for Sammy, okay, to kind of represent. And what I kind of think of with the Knight of Discs, I had to sit with this. I really feel this is all the people looking for. She was kind of spearheading this, right? She's kind of the leader of the kids. But I see how, all the forests and this and the land, we could definitely assess the campground. Everybody going to look for her, I feel, is what the Knight of Discs represents. She's been involved in that. And I know a lot of people have looked at her story and with suspicion. And I'm not done looking at that, by the way, okay? Let's kind of go ahead. And obviously this reached all over the world. The internet, the world can sometimes represent that. This gets all over the world. But let's kind of see, what are we looking at here? What does Spirit want to say? Now, one of the things we got, that the Princess of Swords, news or communication. We know various communications with, what about the mother? And then also, apparently there is a text to Jagger. They kind of have a little bit of communication and stuff. But then we also got the Nine of Wands. Now, Nine of Wands, that is a strength card, but that could be a block. Could that be, the phone goes off, nobody can get through, nobody can get a hold of her. Nine of Wands, a block. That makes sense. Okay? So the phone being dead, but her still being here, could make sense. Okay? There he is. Ooh. That was his card, Knight of Cups, which after I learned of his existence, I felt is him. The Knight of Cups. I was just talking to you about him, guys. Here he pops up. So this looks like that this guy, Nick, and remember, Nick is written down in my book. There's two Nicks in the story. One, the one who finds her, but also the one who services the car. Spirit I heard that name for a reason. Okay, so it looks like he somehow, it's looking accurate, he pops up in the picture. Okay, so what goes on from this point? What happens? And like I said, I don't get this kind of murderous vibe with this guy, okay? There she is. This is Kiely Rodni's card. The Princess of Wands. It always comes up. And matter of fact, tonight when I was sitting here by myself, just kind of meditating, it came up again. This has been her card. I know she's not a fire sign apparently, but, we think of someone youthful, energetic, maybe a little daring, adventurous, have passion for life, fiery. We look at her images. There's fire. There's fire. There's passion. This has always been her card for me. Okay? And even before I ever called the Princess of Wands in that first read, because the mom was the queen, I said she may end up showing as the Princess of Wands. That may be her card. Spirit has used that for her all the time. And notice they are together in this section. So they did meet up. They did meet up. What is going on? What happened? Feelings, attitudes, emotions. I'm going to focus on Kiely. What goes on? What goes on? I know the sun has been popping up. The sun has been a card. Things that were done in the dark will come into the light. Knight of Swords. Now, we could have had some kind of metal kind of thing going on, maybe with this hangover kind of thing. But the Eight of Swords to be trapped in some way. Trapped in some way. Okay? So this does, obviously trapped in a vehicle. Oppression, remember? Something happens here. There's an accident. Look at the environment. What's going on? Got that devil. People been lying. But the truth will come out. Ace of Swords. Okay, hold on. I got to figure out the Ten of Cups, though. I know that can represent family, home life, and all that stuff. Change? Absolutely. What's the outcome? Eight of Cups. Ah, shit. Woo! Woo! Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. This is what I think is happening here. Now that I saw that video and just knowing Nick found her, and a Nick serviced the vehicle. And that guy has no reason to lie. The Eight of Cups, what does it mean? Eight of Cups is to walk away. And this is what hits me. What I feel may have possibly happened here, I definitely feel there's, I don't feel this is, like I said, any kind of intentional, murderous type of situation. I do not feel that. I know definitely we had a party night and stuff like that. We know the phone dies at 12:33. I know a lot of people looked at Sammy, but she does show here, and I did see these two connected when I meditated by myself. The Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Discs were side by side together. The search party. Okay, she's kind of spearheading it. This also, I said this was her card, I believe in read 2. The reason why I believe she shows as a queen and not a page is she is 18. And just maybe to show a little bit of the difference in the age. Sammy's story does kind of change. It is a little weird. It could there be because she feels guilty because she left her and things. But there was some things that popped up, and I'm not sure if it'll show this time. But let me do baby thought for a moment. With Sammy, Now, I do got the change card, maybe changed mind, yes, on an original plan of things to what to do. She might have got a ride with a male, possibly, or maybe a male and a female, because the princess would just pop up. But I definitely felt a change in plans. It seemed to be accurate. I was going to go one direction and another. That actually, I got the Two of Wands for that with Sammy. It is the way it looks. I believe the Nick guy is correct. They're side by side here in the same position, same time frame. Kiely and Jagger. He was my Knight of Cups, which I didn't know who he was, but I remember there was a Knight of Cups character in read one. I still did, like I said, I didn't feel like some murderous thing. I definitely felt, and I still feel this kind of weird lore thing, like somebody gave her something that did not sit right. There was kind of an on guard, people like looking and stuff, and that's probably what got her stuck in the area. I don't know how it all goes down exactly, but I feel some kind of accident or something, a few things there. I definitely feel we're getting trapped in this vehicle, okay? But could we have done something, partied some more? Could something have hit her later that she took? Possible. Something, but I do feel, however it all goes down and stuff, we know that car ends up in the water with her in it, but somebody walks away from it. And I feel this may be possible here, that somehow something tragic happened and this guy walked away in some way. I'm not saying he necessarily did anything. I don't get this, like I said, I don't get this murderous vibe. I just don't. I just don't get this. I do feel it maybe have a party kind of issue. Maybe some drinking, some drugs, some something. Something happens, goes down. But the Eight of Cups is about walking away. Okay? And so that's concerning. We definitely got an accident, but he's popping up with her. Just like that in this layout. So like I said, but I still cannot get there that guy did something to her, like, freaked out or got jealous, or I'm not getting that kind of, I don't get that energy there. I just don't get that. But I do get I left, I walked away, maybe I got scared, maybe I got something, and I walk away. Okay? And that's the weird thing. That's the weird thing about it. And stuff, but some kind of accident, something weird goes on, and stuff like that. So it's, and like I said, I was like, I just don't feel, and that's where I was confused. I was like, but he was in Reno, he wasn't even there, and stuff. But that Knight of Cups popped up. It was in there. It was in. So it looks like somehow we got there. I don't know how it all happened. How would you find her if her phone's dead? Unless she borrowed a phone and message with, there's all kinds of people at the party. So there is, could there have been another message, that we don't know about? That is a possibility that we use a lot of people. There's people, can I borrow your phone? Can I borrow your phone? Guys. You gotta see the video. Now, hold on. Let me. I've got other energies from another read I did messing with me. Give me a moment. Take a closer look at one of the suspects. That's what we're doing. Okay, that's what they need to do. Certain kind of people, I know the cops are doing that. Now I do get some kind of disagreement though pops up. Could there have been argued with a car and then we start driving erratically? That happened, something like that. Now details leading up to the death. I will say death. I'm not necessarily feeling a murder. Worth investigating. Absolutely, of course, with the party and everything else. Now I do get some kind of jealousy. Could be an issue. Could we have been jealous about something? Maybe, and we got in a fight. Like I said, I don't necessarily get a murder kind of situation. Now, this would be appropriate for probably everybody at the party. I feel there are people that know stuff. Somebody else knows something, but they're afraid. Witnesses may fear coming forward with valuable information. Everybody's been saying that. Everybody's been saying that. There could be more surveillance. More surveillance, not just the one vid. Okay, and we'll just pull one more. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of look. Yeah, there's just something went down. Something went down. And that's why I wonder, did the party continue? Did something, what could there have been disagreement? Maybe there was a little jealousy, maybe there was a little thing and stuff. He seems affectionate about her for real, but there is some stuff there though. Some odd behavior we want to pay attention to. Let's kind of look at one of the things we know. We know on his TikTok, he had made a comment, hey, anybody got any leads? Come to me. Like he's working for the cops. Everybody knows about that one, right? And then, the sheriffs and everything, they said, nope, this is the only valuable tip line. We know we kind of did that. That was kind of odd. And things. Then he said he was going to look for in Reno. Could that have been to divert some things? And then he was also, I know she's alive. I know she's fine. And just seemed confident about it. Which most people, if someone's missing, I hope she's alive. I hope everything's. I've got my prayers. Most people are like that. All of social media has been that. We pray for the best, but we fear the worst. Of course, that's kind of a lot of times my attitude in a certain thing like this as well. So, wow, and that's kind of a lot to digest. So it's looking like the Nick guy is accurate. That Jagger somehow this Jagger guy is out. And I don't think it's another guy because how many San Francisco hats he got? Okay, everybody happens to wear that. It's just kind of weird. It's I mean, and the description and everything. And he's got no reason to make this up, guys. I just don't see what would be that guy's motive and stuff. I just, and he doesn't seem like, oh, we pulled over and Kiely's there and he does something to her. I just don't get this vibe stuff from him. I did get that vibe from this guy that services and stuff. But this is kind of weird and stuff. And, yeah, that's what, could some kind of weird kerfuffle, and we ended up in the car. He gets out. He can't get her out. Gosh, shit, what do I do? Walk away? Something like that. That's very possible. And it's kind of like right when I said that, I just, my little thing flashed at 10%. That might be what happened. That there was maybe some weird thing, kerfuffle. Maybe she wasn't driving too good, this, that. Somehow ends up in the water. Maybe there's some weird driving erratic or something. Maybe one gets out. Because remember, there's a window open. I think there might have even been a broken window. I don't know, something weird like that. And something, panic. That could be what happened, guys. I do hope it's helped. We're going to go ahead and see. Of course, I'm sure more news to follow. But this is some very interesting stuff. I did want to get you out there, but yeah, it did. It hit me hard. It was just when I saw, it took me a minute to remember. I wrote Nick down on the paper. Like I said, you can see what I did my read. You watch me do it. And then when I realized the finder, and then this interview, I have got to get video going on. I need to look at whether it's an accident or some kind of weird foul thing. It is something foul. Like I said, I don't feel an intent though. I just have never got that I feel an intent to do something, to do harm. I guess is the best way. Except I really wish, like I said, the sun came up for me earlier when I was just sitting with myself and in that position. All things that are done in the darkness do come into the light. Hope this helps.